Hello and welcome back to another episode of Before You Buy This, Do You Remember That?
Oh. That's it, I'm not going.
If you're not familiar with the concept, I would encourage you to watch my previous video. Highly recommend, 10 out of 10, 5 stars on TripAdvisor. But allow me anyway to refresh your memory. You sent me things on Instagram that you were thinking of buying, but you're not quite sure if you actually like them or if they're just inherently trendy at the moment. And what I am here to do is remind you of historical fashion events and previous poor choices we made as a society in order to de-influence you from buying these trends. Fur coats are incredibly popular at the moment, so much so that they seem to have created their own little micro trend spawn. We started off with mob wife coats, and we now seem to be entering a phase where motel rocks seem to have their grubby little hands on them, and we are making cropped versions with high collars and bomber style jackets in the fur trend. Let me tell you, actually, I really enjoy a fur coat. I do like a fur coat with a personality. Unfortunately, the H&M fur coats and the motel rocks fur coats have all the personality of a rock. Anyway, before you buy a fur coat, allow me to remind you of the Sherpa trend. A couple of years back, we thoroughly enjoyed Sherpa Teddy Borg texture, and we slapped it on every single coat, jacket, cardigan. We decided to slap it on bags in the end. We absolutely loved it. I do believe that these two are comparable. I do believe that fur will have the same trajectory as that Sherpa trend did, because we absolutely adored that Sherpa trend. We stuck it on absolutely everything all the time, and it's now definitely a sign of that time. So before you buy a fur coat, remind yourself of the feeling that you get when you see one of those bobbly trench coat type things. Just here to help. Next thing on my list, pea coats. Sweet, sweet pea coats. I absolutely adore these, actually. I think they are so adorable. I love the silhouette. Even cardigans in this silhouette, I absolutely love. Short sleeve cardigans wearing a long sleeve top underneath. 2 buttons up here with a lovely little collar. Oh, just chef's kiss, some may say. But yes, before you buy a pea coat, let me remind you of a bomber jacket. It would be a rather fruitless argument for me to compare the pea coats to the current bomber jacket trend, because they are both trending items, so you would say that you like them both. The current bomber jacket trend is more of an oversized leather jacket. Let me compare the pea coats to the bomber jackets version 2015. If you're unfamiliar, we loved a satin bomber jacket with an elastic collar, elastic wrists, and elastic waistband. We also loved a varsity jacket, all in that bomber style. Undoubtedly, these bomber jackets are no longer trendy items. I think that these bear comparison to the pea coats because they are both a very specific silhouette. So you may be thinking that, oh no, pea coats, they're a neutral, they're a basic, they're timeless. You can wear them with absolutely everything. However, I do believe that this is the argument for every trendy item that comes along at that time. For example, leopard print, it's a neutral. Football jerseys, I'm just supporting my football team. Saying that a trendy item is timeless is just the argument for buying it at that moment. I do believe that is what we said with the bomber jackets at that time. We did wear them with absolutely everything and did probably say that they were timeless. Now, I don't believe that anything is timeless anymore, which at the same time means that everything we buy is a trend. What I'm trying to do here is not deter you from buying trendy items, it's just highlight that these are in fact trends and just help you decide whether you like the trend or not. And if you like the trend, indulge yourself. Everyone loves a sweet treat now and then. Just find what you like and wear what you like. Also, what do I care? Next on my list, the cowhide trend. I profess to really liking this, however I do believe we ruined it by putting it on the same trajectory as we did with leopard print. With leopard print, we slapped it on absolutely everything, and as soon as you put it on a baggy jean, we absolutely ruin it. And I think that is what we have done with the cowhide trend. In the beginning, when it's first a trend and fast fashion brands don't have their hands on them, we find vintage versions. As soon as we start making new versions of them and slapping it on a baggy jean, it just becomes old really rather quickly. Before you buy the cowhide trend, first let me remind you of leopard print and the trajectory that leopard print took, which I also actually compared to checkerboard print in my last video, which raised a few concerns with some of you actually. Unfortunately for you who disagreed with me, I am always right. Actually, what you were doing was proving my point, because in fact, checkerboard print was not a cultivated 2020 trend. You have just simply forgotten about it. It is a trend that has been going in and out of fashion for decades and decades and decades. We do just forget about them, and I do believe that in time we will just forget about the leopard print trend. Or rather, we won't forget about leopard print in general, but we will forget about how absolutely of a raging influence this trend had on society at this point in time. Just like we forgot about how much of a raging deinfluence checkerboard print had on the 2020s. Anyway, this is about cowhide. Let me remind you of another bag trend that we had a couple of years back, the Bottega Veneta bag trend. All of these bags were made with this woven material. As soon as we saw everyone buying the Bottega bag, fast fashion brands and dupes were made of this bag. Everyone was going around with a woven bag in this hobo bag silhouette. I think the same kind of trajectory will apply to cowhide. Lots of different brands will adopt it, dupes will be made, different brands will be making different iterations of the same thing. It will get very old quite quickly. Another thing, allow me to remind you of the croissant bag by Uniqlo. Crossover bags were a massive trend. In particular, Uniqlo, everyone had one of these little croissant bags, except for me, I could never, of course. Just remember, when something comes trendy, we saturate it and it becomes old, so make sure you like it. Next thing on my list, onitsuka tigers. Onitsuka tigers, but also Samba's, Puma Mostros, Puma Speed Cats, all of those flat sole, plimsoll type trainers. I think what the obvious comparison to these is the chunky sole, the platform sole. However, I think this is a bit too of an obvious comparison. This is just what happens in trend cycles. We go through one extreme to the other. So let me go even further back. Before you buy a flat sole, plimsoll onitsuka tiger trainer, do you remember the white designer trainers? Every single brand was making a plain white trainer with a designer logo. This was the trend of that time. Just like at the moment, the trend of this time is a sporty, colourful shoe with some kind of sporty motif on the side. The three stripes of the Samba, the A6 Onitsuka Tiger logo, just like a Gucci trainer, a Lacoste trainer, the Adidas Stan Smiths. Again, the argument at the time is always, these are a timeless silhouette, these are a timeless shoe. Always, without a doubt, people were saying that this plain white trainer, this plain white Stan Smith Adidas was a timeless shoe. However, much less people are wearing the Stan Smith Adidas, they are wearing the Adidas Samba. The Adidas Samba also, may I say, was definitely named as a timeless shoe. Nothing is timeless, and if you like something, just buy it. How can a white shoe possibly be trendy? Lo and behold, you look at them and you think, oh no, that's not trendy anymore. Final thing on my list, before you buy a Sonny Angel or a bag charm, first let me just raise the idea that buying charms and these kind of personality type items from fast fashion websites, typing in plushie keyring on Temu and buying that, is inherently bizarre. The whole idea and the concept of having something hanging off your bag is to show personality and is to show something that you enjoy. What people are doing now is they are buying fast fashion things now and then just attaching them to their bags just because it's a trend. One thing in particular that people raised to me on my Instagram was the Sonny Angels. People are just buying Sonny Angels because they're a current trend, whereas the sort of Kewpie dolls, those Sonny Angels have been around for absolutely ages and they were a collectible item. Now they have been reduced to a trend, unfortunately. So before you buy a keyring for the sake of buying a keyring, first go and find something sentimental to you, and second, let me remind you of the pom-pom trend. Surely we must remember the faux fur pom-poms that we were attaching to absolutely everything. Need I say more? And that is everything I have for today. I really hope you enjoyed that video. Part 2 of a previous video. As I say, go watch that. It's been an absolute pleasure having you here, and I really hope to see you very incredibly soon. Merry Christmas. Bye.